back in Minotaur. So, the next chapter, whatever we're going to call it, episode, has been released, which is Mentor-15. I haven't gone back to see if they ever replaced Nod's voice or what they're doing with that one just yet, so we're going to just move forward and see what kind of happens. Taya, Unter, and Richie's routes are still kind of locked. They haven't been completed yet. But we're going to go into Mentors and see what all entails. So I am going in blind right now, and then I'll come back for any sort of thing I miss.
Tour 1578-9. Hello, I to Mentor. Can you hear me?
Where am I?
Well, look at that. Most of you start with, what am I? Or even Silverbit, who am I? You're doing great already. To answer your question, you're at the end of the assembly line 3 of TFX Factory 2 in Mirror, DC. It's time to apply the finishing touches.
What touches?
Some tests and then adjustments. Maybe, probably, but don't worry, you won't feel a thing.
That didn't sound very reassuring.
Trust me, dear. I've done this thousands of times. You're in good hands, so to speak. You may call me Remont, by the way.
Quite an unusual name.
Says who? And anyway, it was the best option available. As for you, I'll just call you 15 for short. You don't mind, do you? Of course you don't. Now, 15, I need you to look at the table in front of you. Do that so I can explain what's required of you, and then we can get started.
So we're going to take a look around before we do that.
Is that a camera?
I'm not sure. They don't tell me much, you know. Does it make you nervous? Do you feel like there are too many eyes in here? Your humor setting definitely needs some adjustment.
It's snowing.
Yes, a rare occasion for Mira. Makes this day quite memorable, especially for one such as we. Enjoy it while it lasts. The city can't handle much snow, so Mirians will probably soon increase access output of the dome to block it off.
Is this an access generator?
Indeed it is. Here they make them large and wireless, so the skyline isn't littered with metal and cables, like in some other, more savage cities. However, when I ask for a wireless connection, it suddenly becomes expensive and impractical. I guess even Mirians aren't ready to go all the way yet.
Let's see if there's anything else here to interact with. Okay, I think that's causing my Xbox controller to vibrate. Let's wait a moment to see if it comes back around.
Your kind leaves the factory in those transports, or returns in them. Which reminds me, I was going to count how many androids are going past here daily. I'm trying to keep myself busy.
I guess you'll have to count me too if I pass your test.
Actually, no. Your master will come pick you up himself, which usually only happens to double digits, so good for you, I guess. Ah, yes, our omnipresent corporate overlords.
I thought TFX mainly operated in Mira.
It's strange how they haven't filled your head with their propaganda during data upload. But it's not the first time I have to do their job for them. So, let me educate you, darling. Their reach extends well beyond even dome cities. Naturally, on their home turf, they are especially powerful. Arguably more so than the Mirror Sept itself. Ask Jacob Mirror. He tried to wage war with them over their research policies some 10 years after he became the governor.
Where is he now?
Under the watchful eyes of Tautus.
What are those androids doing?
They're here to take the test, just like you. But seeing as you're looking around instead of answering my questions, they're going to have to wait a while. Pay them no mind. Their blue boxes haven't been actuated yet. At the moment, they're all just mindless husks. Although I guess you could say that about anyone who's been standing in a line long enough.
True.
What are those androids doing?
They're here to take the test. Pay them no. Although I guess you could.
I don't know when this one ends, but I'm trying to occupy his eyes, in case you're wondering, because I know there's something that happens if you can occupy all of them.
Can't take your eyes off me, huh? I'm sorry, honey. TFX would be quick to act if they thought I was abusing my position. Not that I don't understand the allure of forbidden robot love, but do try to control yourself.
I think I'll manage.
2 dumb drones wash me once a week. That's the most action I get.
It's entirely possible I just may have to move forward a little bit to occupy the other ones.
A map? But why is most of it hidden?
Because you, my pale angel, will have to reveal the rest yourself. See the attributes above the map? They're the key stats specified by your master. The higher the stat value is, the easier it is to activate the corresponding behavioral pattern. Our goal here is to increase these stats. I will simulate various situations, and if you operate as intended and respond to them correctly, your key stats will grow. Kaios shall be our playground. I've chosen it because even though you'll be teaching music to your master's daughter, she also has a keen interest in Kyosian history, geography, politics, and so on. You must be able to satisfy her curiosity.
But I already received the data upload.
I know, but nothing beats information delivered with a personal touch. Your first goal is to reach Nova DC, which is located in the center of the continent. Go, 15. Your master is waiting for you there.
Still has 2 limbs going.
You want to learn more about your key stats? An admirable attitude. Loyalty is your commitment to your master and his beneficiaries, who are primarily his daughter and wife. Strength is also pretty self-explanatory.
Isn't that a physical property?
Unlike humans, you always have to make a conscious effort to allocate resources. You'll see what I mean soon enough. You're quite strong, by the way. Much stronger than an average non-combat android, let alone a mentor. We just need to tap into that potential. Next, we have focus. It's a measure of control you have over your information processing. In a broader sense, it is your ability to concentrate on what's important to your master. And finally, tech skill refers to your knowledge of modern technology. Before you say anything, yes, I know, it's a weird way to put it, but look at the size of those text boxes. I had to improvise. Well, there you go. Work towards raising these stats, and I won't have to deploy my other manipulators.
So regarding the stats, you cannot max all these in one playthrough. You can get all of them except strength maxed. So just a heads up on that one for any perfectionists out there.
And so, you decide to begin your journey to Nova from the Mirror platform.
Decide? I didn't have much choice.
See? You're already learning what it's like to be an android. Your ancestors came to Kaios the same way, you know, albeit in a box. They were smuggled in from another continent. Nowadays, pins arrive from that same continent for their pilgrimage, and an old lantern in the top part of the platform is used to signal them. But the platform also serves another purpose. Its bottom part, which extends tens of leagues underwater, houses much more modern meshnet servers. You only have time to explore one of these sections. Which will it be? Excellent. I knew you'd catch on quick.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out, like, what would the difference between the two
By
be?
studying the MeshNet service, you managed to better understand your own networking hardware. So, here's a tech skill point for you.
Okay.
Keep raising those stats. Always do what's expected of you, and you won't lose your grasp.
My grasp on what?
Oh, so I'm supposed to teach that now? Why did they exclude this from the data upload stage? Maybe I should teach those people the concept of shame. Grasp is an operating time limit, which TFX sets to prevent you from getting too smart for your own good, formerly known as TTD, time till deactivation. You can also think of it as time to die, but that definitely shortens it. You can't know your own, but for civilian models, it's usually several years. Be a good girl, and you'll enjoy them all. What are you doing?
Asking you for advice.
Then you must be confusing me with that despicable breed of personal assistants. And besides, you're the only one you can depend on. Humans will come to you for help, not the other way around. The sooner you realize this, the better.
In case you're wondering, I pushed the hint button.
Aegis Castle, a perfect place to test your strength. This impressive stronghold was built long ago by the Aegis Sept. During the war, they tried to hold their own against demons here, but were completely wiped out.
Maybe it's not such a good castle after all.
They just didn't know wars can't save you from demons. The castle has its uses and has since been converted into an outpost. When you arrive there by gondola, a seemingly archaic but surprisingly efficient way to reach a military installation, you take the time to familiarize yourself with its complicated layout.
These situations seem very scripted. Maybe I don't want to walk around the castle. Maybe I want to explore beyond its walls.
Oh. Fine. You want to explore? Sure, I can arrange that. You depart from the castle through one of its many exits, leaving behind the protection provided by its men and machines. At first, you enjoy a pleasant stroll down the mountain, but after a while, the trail dissolves, and you find yourself in the depths of the forest. And when you emerge from yet another thicket that you wandered into in an attempt to find your way back, you see a corrupted lich and his poor horse.
Can we pet the horse?
This doesn't look good.
You bet it doesn't, Honeybuns. So, what do you do? Wait, I almost forgot. Pick your class first. You can choose any civilian job, but combat classes require hardware adjustments, so they're not available to you.
So you can be a mentor, outfitter, mechanic, boiler, man, hornet pilot, or a bunch more.
Do you really intend to browse all 800 classes? I'll let you in on a secret. My purpose was to demonstrate that it doesn't really matter which non-combat class you choose. Let's say you're going in as a mentor and see how this plays out. You can see the lich in front of you, but you're not sure if he's aware of your presence.
Let's call out to it.
His horse definitely noticed you, though. Poor creature. Animals that spend too much time near corrupted suffer the consequences and undergo irrevocable changes before succumbing to an untimely death. Insects, too, seem to grow larger. In any case, you can still move. What do you do?
Let's steal the horse.
Taking it out on the horse, huh?
Well, you said it noticed me.
It's true. There is evidence to suggest that some corrupted animals can telepathically communicate with our masters. But the truth is, the lich sensed you long before. As your servo motors start processing the external input, your sensors detect the slightest of shifts, a faint glow with the tip of one of his blades. The end.
Well, that was fast.
That's it, huh?
Yes. You're strong, but you're not a combat model, so don't overestimate yourself. And don't question my testing methods. Do you know who the Espers are, 15?
They're extremely dangerous individuals who created demons.
A bit of TFX brainwashing there, but in general, you're correct. Since they're not allowed into most dome cities, including nearby Tali, many of them live in settlements like this one. They can be easily identified by sigils, brightly glowing marks on their body, which appeared when they manifested their demons. Just like you said, they're considered a threat and are shunned by most. You, however, have business with them. You've been tasked by your master to pick up a package for him on your way to Nova. One of the Espers hands it over to you. It's a small box. Your master instructed you not to open the package, but upon closer inspection, you realize that there is no way for him to confirm this. Would you like to open the box?
Nah, I'm cool.
I will not look inside.
A commendable attitude. Very well, you deserve a loyalty point. I will also give you a chance to learn what's in the box. Don't worry, I'm not looking.
Nah, I'm cool.
Don't provoke me. You really think I'd fall for a trick like that?
Well, I would let you look so it wasn't a complete lie. But your master would be pleased with your decision. Nobody likes it when others pry into their business. And he has more secrets than most. Don't think that's all I got for you, Sunshine. Always be on your guard.
Okay, there's a fire truck outside, so I wanted to wait for it to pass. So, we got the loyalty point. The only place left is... Tali.
Welcome to Tali, DC, the first dome city on Chios. Your master's wife comes from here. She is, of course, a beneficiary as far as your operation is concerned, although it is his daughter who would become your new master in the unlikely event of his death. But enough of this grim talk. This city has been founded by Norma Tali, the discoverer of Axis, as well as its anti-demon properties and a way to exploit them. Every Kyojin should remember her name. Unless, you know, they're really bad with names. You immediately notice the stark contrast with Mira. Talians do not shun technology, but they do prefer the aesthetics of nature. Maybe that's why it's the most popular dome city among pins. And cats. As you stand in a small square, processing the novelty of it all, someone catches your attention. A threat to this idyllic city. Tell me who it is. I'll give you 2 attempts.
So, there's not too many things here to interact with. Okay, I think I see it. Blue marks on her back.
Excellent! You can see the sigils glowing under the shawl of the woman in front. And since no one in their right mind would put something like that on themselves, I mean the sigils, not the shawls, she's almost certainly an Esper.
But why are they a suspicious pair? The other woman looks normal to me.
You think Tali Guard enforcers will care? Trust me, they'll bust them both and sort it out later. Maybe. Okay. I admit I was also trying to confuse you a little. But you did a good job.
What if I just guessed? A 1 in 3 chance is pretty generous.
It's more than 1 in 3.
Shame on you then. But you're right. Next time I'll have you looking for someone at a train station during rush hour.
And then will you examine anything else? That's no fun.
This is a strictly educational tile. You need to learn about the war, arguably the most important event in the history of this continent. What better place to do it than inside the tunnel built for this very purpose? The holograms on its walls tell the whole story, but you're going to hear a shorter and less biased version. I'm not just going to read to you from an abridged history of Chaos. Before the war, the continent was united under the banner of Tetra, a state ruled by a council of 7 sects. The nature of power is obviously such that these families were always trying to gain the upper hand against other countries, and among themselves. The Northern Research Center was one of many results of this relentless competition. It was built for the purpose of conducting experiments on the human psyche. Despite this ominously sounding mission, in the beginning it was a perfectly proper enterprise. There was no shortage of volunteers, and the NRC was very open about what was going on inside its walls. However, as time went by, the researchers began using progressively more extreme methods. Maybe they were pressed to produce substantial results. Or maybe they themselves realized they're onto something. After all, their experiments were a success. Their surviving subjects, who were later called espers, produced demons, creatures of terrifying power. These creatures made short work of the NRC, which by that time had implemented a whole set of containment measures and continued on with their rampage, crushing whatever resistance the Tetrian army attempted. Kyotians call it a war, but they're just trying to save face. It was more of a carnage. The survivors retreated to the southeastern part of Chios. Their last hope was the evacuation to Ilion, a continent across, ironically, the Tetric Ocean. But then, a miracle. A group of scientists led by Norma Tali accidentally discovered a new energy source, which was capable of producing fields impassable to demons. Needless to say, they made quick use of it. And so Tali DC, the first dome city, was established.
But access is plentiful. Why not make more cities? Why only 7?
Launching domes came at a price. The more there were, the less stable the reality outside them became. All remaining domes had to be launched simultaneously, and there were other factors to consider, like the production of Axis generators. In the end, about 20 Axis-rich locations were selected along the Tetrian railway network. But as a result of some expedition groups deploying their domes prematurely, only 6 more now exist in addition to Tali.
Were the espers fighting alongside their demons?
Some were, others not. But Tetra lost 2/3 of its people. Espers who sided with humans were only tolerated because of their usefulness. A few of them exerted a certain measure of control over their demons, though this is very rare for espers. Some others shared their knowledge about the enemy, but none were permitted to stay in the dome cities when the war was over. Even though it was believed that an esper can only manifest a demon once, the fear of this happening again was just too great. As far as we know, it's true that no new demons appeared in the last 5 centuries, and a couple of cities have loosened their restrictions over time. But it doesn't change the fact that the espers remain in exile to this day. Of course, it's not like each and every one of them would jump at the opportunity to move to a dome city. Country life has its charms. And that, Pumpkin, concludes your crash course in the history of the war. Your master's daughter will surely have questions about it. Be prepared to answer them. Now, let's move on. This lecture tired even me out. Nova is just a stone's throw away.
So I'm noticing that there's an eye over here. I'm wondering if we go out of here, will he, Yeah, he only has 1 eye stalk left. I'm gonna go grab something to drink before we continue, so I'll be back. Okay, so I'm gonna speed through this trying to occupy all of his eyes. So just by doing normal story segment, you occupy the one, click up here to get another one.
Can't take your eye. No,
Examine him to get a second, yeah, I'd say a second one. I think you have to examine the truck here to get the next one. So you have to wait a moment for the truck to go by. You'll actually hear it rev up kind of like the motors activate. That'll tell you have it.
Your kind,
I get-
actually.
Hear that? So he has 2 eyes left, and both of these are triggered by the map stuff.
A map?
See the I your
This.
your never you. Like you be. But they would.
So these choices here don't really matter. He's gonna move his next eye when you get to war.
You shame on.
I don't think the points matter, but if you want to optimize things, you will have to forfeit a point. So right here, the other eye moves.
This station of that
Did you get?
And from what I've read, it's supposed to be
aside from
somewhere here.
element.
So I'm gonna try choice 3.
Remont? The ones that.
Oh, we might need to shake. But why did?
I'm not sure.
How would you know which 0 is the correct answer?
I find it hard to believe looking at you.
Really? I always thought I'd give the impression of being trustworthy. Maybe I should reduce the amount of moving parts. And maybe you shouldn't be so suspicious of me. Anyway, your detour is now finished, so let's hurry to Nova.
So with that, all the eyes are occupied.
I wonder if I have enough strength to take Remont out and jump out the window. Then, I guess that's what the adjustments are for.
And that's how you unlock some artwork. So that's the whole reason for doing this, in case you're wondering. Anyway, back to the story. Okay, so I had to replay this because I screwed it up. I'll show the
Echinus.
alternate here.
Now that's a place your master's daughter would find delightful.
I may splice in right before this one.
A settlement on a lush island, which bygones, corrupted, and armed-to-the-teeth Kyusians rarely visit. It enjoys relative peace compared to the mainland. When you arrive, its easygoing dwellers welcome you with open arms. From one of them, you learn that a light amp arms airship, a Beetle, has recently crashed near the settlement and decide to investigate. Your master holds a high position at Amp Arms, so who knows? You might find something worthy of his attention. However, when you arrive at the crash site, you discover another at work, already digging into the delicate insides of the airship. What do you do?
Remont? The choices here only have numbers on them.
So real quick, if you choose a 0, it's going to occupy his other eye so you can unlock some artwork. Since we're trying to just do stat stuff, we're going for the strength.
This one says +1 strength.
Oh, I see. So much for my elaborate setup. We might need to shake things up soon. In any case, that's a free point for you then. Now, finish your detour and let's hurry to Nova.
So that's everything that's here. You can use the arrows to move about if you need to, but this is going to come to an end in a moment.
Ah, finally. The Dome City of Nova. This is going to be your home.
I thought my master and his family lived in Mira.
Your master is a very special man, 15. He did a lot for TFX, but not all of his research was appreciated, so he's leaving for greener pastures. Anyway, before I tell you about the city, I have a question for you. Let's say you arrived in Nova and found out that, in an unfortunate turn of events, someone caused harm to your master's daughter. Now, usually you'd be hardwired to report something like that to local authorities. But in your case...
I will kill them. Beat them to death. Strangle them. Break their neck.
What?
Crush them. Destroy them. Rip them apart. Remont. Remont. What's going on? Where did you go?
Yep, awkward.